Hello, everyone. Welcome to chapter 252 on my RLDR Custom Creations YouTube channel. It is the weekend edition. And in this chapter, I'm going to deal with something that arose from another chapter that I went through a while ago. So if you want to see what I'm going to change, all you need to do is stay tuned. Yes, sometimes when you do something, it creates a little problem down the line. Well, a few chapters ago, I installed, I still think it's lovely. I really like this Princess Auto drill press platform. It is awesome. It works really good. I really like it. Yeah, I've got my little scrap of wood on here to protect it. I haven't had any major damage on it yet. It's been excellent. I love it. For 30 bucks, great buy. But most of the holes that I drill are using small bits and into wood. And what happens when I get the drill press table in the right position? Yeah. So to rectify this, and that's what we're going to do in this chapter, is I'm going to shorten my drill press handles a little bit so that I don't have to have this or think of moving this. I did come up with a way of moving it quickly, but I thought I don't need the leverage. Like I'm not drilling big holes in steel. Besides, I don't think this is really that kind of drill press anyway. If you're going to work with heavy duty metal, you need a heavy duty drill press, which this is kind of medium. So I think I thought it through anyway, and it seemed like a good idea at the time. So sometimes those ideas aren't great for me, but I decided to take 3 inches off of these handles. And that basically gets the handle here. So it's kind of like I would never drill a hole and have this table way up here. That's never going to happen. So I just kind of set that's about where it needs to be by this by the bottom of this, and away we're going to go. So that's what I'm going to do in this video. I'm just going to show you quickly how I shorten them. These things were in the drill press really, really well. It almost looked like they used some kind of locking compound, and it looked kind of red, but it wasn't red Loctite. With red Loctite, I wouldn't have got this off the way I did it. But it was nice and firm. So, and then there are threads at both ends, which I have to recut one end. So, yeah, let's get into it and let's get this project started. Well, okay, I've done one already. You can see it. The total length on these now, I believe, is 6¼ inches. Yes, it's 6¼ inches. That's taking about 3 inches off. I think actually the real measurement is about 2¾ that I'm taking off. It's pretty straightforward. It's just, I think on this one, like you have to make where you're cutting threads, you have to make that smaller than this diameter of the main shaft. And I did that on the metal lathe, and I don't think my bit was very good. And I should have gone smaller because these threads were really hard to cut. So I think I'm going to go a little bit smaller on the next one. But I'm also, a lot of you that would do this don't have a metal lathe. So I'm going to go to the grinder and I'm going to do one on the grinder. I think I can do it accurately enough. And the other good thing is the threads on each end are exactly the same. So if you're not happy with the threads you got, then just turn it around and use the original factory threads in the drill press head and you'll be fine. And even if you didn't cut these threads here, I bet you if you put epoxy on the handles and pushed them on, you'd be fine. So there are ways of doing this without using a whole bunch of fancy tools. Okay, but I'm going to measure these and cut them to length. So I want to be, I don't know if you can see this, I'm going to measure, what did I say this was again, 6¼ 6¼ inches. 6¼ is right there. It's going to make the mark a little better. And this one I took the liberty of marking a little earlier, I believe. Nope, I marked this one again. Well, another way of doing it is just laying them side by side and putting a mark on them. Okay, when you got them marked, the next step is to cut. So let's quickly cut one here. One of the things that I found, and I need to find a way to mount this permanently, is I need a machinist's vise or a mechanic's vise or whatever, something that's designed to grip metal. I use these woodworking vices in ways that were never meant to be used. I sometimes get lazy and just forget to put this on my table. But I would like to have a permanent place for it, but I'm not there yet. So this kicks around the shop, kind of hangs up by the drill press, and when I need it, I grab it and put it into action. So hopefully this is good enough. But anyway, my trusty angle grinder with a zip disc or cutoff disc in it, and we're just going to quickly and that's that. Okay, that's one cut. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the grinder and we're going to chamfer the end a little bit. But I cut one already. I'm just going to take you over there. I'm going to cut this one, and then we're going to go over to the grinder and continue this project. All right, well, the cutting's done. I've moved on to my big grinder. This is a very nice big grinder that I got many years ago. And I realized that I've got blanks for my hollowing tools here yet that I haven't completed. I'm just going to set these aside here. And on the one, I'm just going to grind a bit of a chamfer on it so that we can start things better. So here we go. I didn't get it perfectly straight with the cutoff wheel, so just grinding the top a little bit. There we go. And there we go. Whoops. I should turn that off when I'm talking. Okay, and there we go. That's pretty much all I need to do on here. I think what I'm going to do, though, I haven't tried this yet, but like I said in my introduction, to do this, you don't really need a metal lathe. But if you try to cut threads here, you'll be taking off way too much steel. This needs to be smaller. So I was measuring this when I did the first one, and I think I kind of know where I need to be now. But the first one, like this, the other end tapped really, or the die was really hard to turn. So I think I'm going to experiment a little bit with this guy so that if you're at home and doing this, you don't have to have thousands of dollar metal lathe. Okay, I'll be back. All right, well, I've been playing with the grinder a little bit, and I've already got this pretty close to the required size. The tip for this is just keep your tool support close to the wheel. I wish I had a better edge on this wheel. It would make this look, the shoulder look a little nicer. But in the end, the handle's going to cover it. Nobody's ever going to see it. So, but I have a little bit more to go yet. So I'll just show you how I was doing this. think I'm getting close. Now, the other one that I did one on the metal lathe, and I measured the maximum diameter around the top of the threads on this side, and I assumed that that's what it needed to be. And on this particular one, I got 0.427. Okay, let's see where I am here. I'm not quite there yet. I can see that. 0.427. I'm at 0.453. So I've got how much? There, I got to do my math here and keep my memory. So 0.423. Well, I got 25 thousandths. So I've got a bit more grinding to do. I think for you to watch that, that's just boring. I am going to show you the last one I have to do, and I'm going to go over to the metal lathe and show you that too. Just a little clip. Okay, I'm going to get back to grinding. We'll see you at the metal lathe in a bit. Well, and here we are by the metal lathe, getting things going. I took a bit of this footage out because it takes longer to do it on the metal lathe than it did on the grinder. And unfortunately, I gave you kind of a bad camera angle. Just couldn't get the camera in any other way to do this. So thought I'd just show you part of it and voice it over. I need to start using my metal lathe a bit more than I do because so many things that I used to teach I've forgotten because it's been quite a while since I've really used it properly. Like I'll put something in it like this and spin it and run the cutter over it, and I still know a few of the basics, but I'm not really using the machine to anywhere near its full potential. So that's something I'll need to work on yet. One of the things I do though, and you'll notice it when I start cutting again, I have a fairly bad habit. I tend to lean over the lathe with my face really close to the cutting action, and that's probably not the safest thing to be doing. So that's something also I kind of need to work on, or maybe wear a face shield when I do this because I'm always kind of looking over and stuff. One of the safety features I have on this lathe is I have a manual or an automatic shutoff switch. There's a little micro switch that's attached to a lever on the headstock of the lathe, and when the carriage, that the whole thing, the thing that the tool rest is on and that moves back and forth on the ways, when that comes too close to the spinning headstock, the lathe automatically shuts off. So a friend did that for me when I was using it at the school for teaching. So that has worked out very, very good for me. But so yeah, it's a fairly safe machine, which is good. Like I say, I just need to learn to use it a little bit better than I do. So my goal here was probably to take about somewhere around 60 thousandths off from the outside finished shaft diameter. And this shaft, I don't know, I think this steel is really, really hard steel. It didn't cut very nice. I went and sharpened my cutter. I use high-speed steel cutters so I can sharpen them on my CBN wheels. It seemed to work really well. I touched them up with my fine diamond hone, and away we went. Things were good. But yeah, I made the mistake, and I don't know what I did. Maybe while I was turning and had my hands on the handles, I maybe inadvertently moved my hand, and in the end I ended up smaller than I wanted to be, which, yeah, I don't like missing my targets like that. But another thing that I notice is when I'm shooting video, part of my mind seems to stay on shooting the video and I don't focus on the task at hand. And I find that I've made some mistakes when I normally maybe wouldn't when I'm doing something when I'm shooting video. So hopefully I can learn to get over that yet. But adding the camera to the mix definitely changes things. At least for me it does. So, but here I am measuring and trying to make things the way I see fit. Actually, I think here I was realizing that I was a bit too small, which, yeah, wasn't that exciting for me. But in the end, it'll all work out. I'll just add a little bit of epoxy to it, and it'll work out great. So I'm looking forward to having this done. Well, we're going to cut some threads on here, and then we're going to put the whole thing together. One of the things you should do, I would recommend it anyway, is get some decent quality cutting fluid and put it on. And as you're doing this, keep a good supply of cutting fluid when you're cutting threads. That's what I do anyway. The other thing that I came across yesterday, I hadn't realized it. I bought my tap and die set from Canadian Tire because from the research that I did at the time, it was suggested that their stuff was really quite good. And I found this on a really good sale, so I bought a nice set. It's in a nice case. It's easy to keep organized. It's wonderful. But there's one thing, and I just discovered this yesterday evening. I don't like, these are round dies. Here, we'll give it a little closer look. They're round. Okay. And with this holder, if I'm kind of really pushing on it, and maybe I shouldn't be doing that, but it slips. So I would think that a hexagon shaped die would be better. But I'm not a machinist. I just know enough. I joke with myself at times, I just know enough to be dangerous, and maybe that's true. But so anyway, I'm going to cut some threads on here. And I got a little smaller than I wanted to, so I'm about the same as the other one that I ground. I was always taught with tapping to go about half a turn and come back a quarter to break chips off. I don't know if that's still a thing, because I see people cutting threads on the internet all the time with their drill, and away they go. And I just don't know if that's good. I don't know. But I still do it the old way. And this is cutting very nicely. Actually, a little too nicely. Give it a little bit more, make a bit of a mess. This fluid is Safe Tap, and I bought that from Busy Bee many years ago. That's another Canadian. I would say Busy Bee is more equivalent to Harbor Freight than Princess Auto. People compare sometimes Princess Auto to Harbor Freight. I think Busy Bee is the better comparison. Busy Bee has their own line of tools, which is Craftex, whereas Grizzly has, Harbor Freight has their own lines, and the other one I'm thinking of is Grizzly. They have their own lines too. Maybe Grizzly is more like Busy Bee than I'm expecting. Okay, I think that's at the bottom. That's looking pretty good. It was a little bit small, so it was a little bit easy to do. Oh yeah, it was a little bit too small, but that's still going to work. Just clean it up a little bit, and yeah, it's not really enough. Okay, well this one I might have to silicone on. I'm not even going to bother showing you that one. I'm going to show you this one. This one was the first one that I did. Those threads are a little better formed. This was the second one I did on the grinder. And those, I got a little bit too small. And I got a little bit too small again with the lathe, and those aren't very good at all. But it really doesn't matter, because I still have really good threads on the other end. So let's start putting this all back together. Well, here it is. It's all done. I didn't bore you with reassembly. It's just threading them together. On the two that I got the diameter a wee bit small, I did add a little bit of epoxy just to make sure. But it all went together really, really well, and it works flawlessly. Like, I really like the feel of this. Before, I was choking up all the time anyway, and now there's no way. I'm just going to take the bit out here. And now look at that, it clears. It's got lots of space. In fact, I could even come up another couple inches and still be good. So I don't know. I think this is a really, really good improvement to my drill press. My only disappointment is in my machining ability today. I just got in a bit of a hurry, and I took a little more off, like on the grinder. Okay, grinding to the 10,000ths or whatever, that's a little trickier. But on the metal lathe, I had no excuse. I guess I just got in a hurry and got a little bit camera awestruck by the camera. But anyway, there was enough thread on even that worst one to bite a little bit, and I put some epoxy on. I'm sure it's going to be fine. I'm not at all worried about it. But that's one of the things to do when you're working on something. What do you do when things don't go exactly as you planned? So I'm very happy with this modification. It's going to work really good. It's something that's been on my list for a while, and we've got kind of rainy, poor weather outside, so I thought I may as well do it and shoot it for the weekend edition. So with that in mind, I don't think there's anything else to tell you other than if you wouldn't mind putting a like on my videos, subscribing, sharing them with others would be wonderful. But yeah, we'll see you next week with the weekly edition. By the way, thanks for watching.